welcome. This is Notepad with me, Dishen Kumar, and today we'll be going to be talking to a company that provides renewable energy solutions but also gives back to the community. So joining me today is IR Kumari Nalini, EDOTCO's Group Director of Engineering and Technology. Nalini, thank you so much for joining us today.
Most welcome and nice meeting you, Dishen.
So let's talk about EDOTCO. Basically, what does EDOTCO do?
EDOTCO is an infrastructure company. We have presence in about 6 to 8 countries. 2 are still ongoing, and we provide the telecom infrastructure for the mobile operators.
Okay. So then let's talk about EDOTCO. How many places are you guys operating right now?
We are currently operating in 8 markets, namely Malaysia, Philippines, Laos, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Myanmar.
Okay. What is your end-to-end solutions and what type of services you actually provide?
Okay, we build the infrastructure. We mean to say we procure the land and then we build the towers up to building the infrastructure needed for a telecom operator to come in and put in their equipments and bring it up to life.
Okay.
So the steel and the mortar and the grass on the side is ours.
Okay. So let's talk about a specific program that EDOTCO has, which is the T2C, Tower to Community Program.
Yes.
So what is the thought process behind that program?
Okay, the thought process behind the program was basically in the fact that EDOTCO started a journey with sustainability.
Okay.
So everything we do was to look at something green, making sure that we were green in all aspects of what we do. And then came that we had to look at how do we reduce our dependency on diesel. When we have renewable sources like solar, wind and turbines and say fuel cells and all of that, you cannot store the extra energy that you generate from all these sources.
Okay.
So, and then the next thought was that what do we do with this extra energy, and then what we turned back and saw around the area that we were providing was these communities without the power systems.
Okay.
So we said, okay, let's go and do it. And when we spoke to the communities, it was actually very amazing. We actually pumped drinking water for them, electrified their pumps so that they could get drinking water in their places. We also did things like their prayer areas had power. The children could study in the night. So all this was something that was there, and we just tapped into it.
Okay. So where are these projects currently located? How many countries are there? And what is the current situation of the project right now?
We started mainly in Bangladesh, because that's where renewable energy was most needed.
Okay.
Being the grid condition at about 75 to 85%, that was where we needed to start with renewable energy, and we have actually done quite a bit of work there already in Bangladesh, but we also started the same work back in Malaysia. And in Malaysia, we looked at the Orang Asli settlement areas where we could give, and that's in Cameron Islands, post Lemoy, and we also touched the villages surrounding it. We are working with UNICEF to provide vaccine fridges on our site, then again powered by our renewable energy, which is solar, and we hope to take this further with them.
Okay. So what has been the response from the communities? I mean, coming into a place is not easy, saying that we want to give you this, we want to give you that. What was the initial response of the communities?
I think the first initial response was a tower company, Telecommunications. But when we told them what we could give you, they embraced us very well. And they were happy that their children were gaining from, and the community by large was actually gaining from this whole thing that we were doing, right? And there were a lot of happy people, right? Happy. Can you imagine every day you have to walk to the well and take the water and come? Yeah. So what we did is that we electrified the pump so that the water can be pumped to their nearest pipe, and now they have pipe water. So for people who have never seen it, that's really amazing. And in places like Bangladesh, this is so needing, right? It's a third world country and biggest population, so dense, and doing these small things make big impact in their lives.
Okay.
Right?
We'll talk about the Bangladesh project later, but let's talk about who's involved. I mean, have you worked with any other parties, or has it been just EDOTCO doing it? What is the process of, let's say you want to do a project in Bangladesh. What was the whole process of, okay, we want to do something in Bangladesh. How did you locate the communities in the first place?
Actually, the communities located us, right?
Okay.
So when we go and look for sites, we look for sites where there are communities now. Before that, we just look for any sites.
Okay.
But then when this whole thing sparked that we need to serve the community, if I'm just 20 meters away from a community, then I get closer to them. So that it makes it easier for us to do. So we are doing a win-win situation for the mobile operators as well as for the community.
Okay.
So we are looking at it that way.
Okay. So is there like any projects where there were pushback from the local community? Because you're talking about giving energy solutions, renewable energy to a certain type of community. Was there governments involved, like government coming in and saying that you can't really do this, or there's been pushback, or have they been very accepting of what you guys are doing?
In Bangladesh, we hardly had any pushback. BRAC, who's one of our partners in Bangladesh, is been doing this as well. So it was quite an easy flow. In fact, it was just like we set something to do. It's in our DNA. Our engineers on site know about it, what to do and how to do it, and it just gets done as part of the offerings of whatever we do.
Okay. Now, is there any chance for the projects currently, let's say in Bangladesh, in Myanmar, in Cameron Highlands, is there any chance that the projects would be expanded to the different types of communities? Are you going to give different types of energies? Because the one in Bangladesh is solar energy. You're powering their schools and mosques and things like that. Are you guys going to try to bring in more different types of energy, or try to expand these projects?
Yes, we are actually trialing a couple of things. One is wind turbines, and we are also looking at fuel cells. In fact, we are looking at methanol fuel cells, but we are unable to come down because of the transportation of methanol is very has a very hazardous safety.
It's hazardous material. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, the protocol for it to get to the site is
Okay.
very difficult, and
Okay.
in a country which lacks infrastructure, that will be a tough thing to do. So the more we do renewable energy, the faster we will reach out to the communities.
Okay.
But it's coming from the philosophy that renewable energy cannot be stored and used for tomorrow.
Okay.
Right?
All right. We'll just be back right after this. We'll be talking about the trip that I took actually to Bangladesh to see their site, the T2C program for EDOTCO, right after this.
না না যাবেন না, এটা লাগবে তো। নাম
এতক্ষণ তো আপনি বললেন যে আপনার মাদ্রাসাতে লোকজন সন্ধ্যার পরে আলো পাচ্ছে বা
The project was started since 2016, and on that time we have identified from our tower there are solar, there are generator as well. So from that we have some surplus power as well, which we can distribute to the local community, especially who are not getting power from the local government or local area as well. So from this theme, we have identified that we have some opportunity to help the local people. And since 2016 to present situation, so far around 1620 family we have provided power, and from 33 sites all over the country. And within this there are 48 educational institute as well, 44 mosque as well, and one community clinic as well. So far, we have provided the power from our tower.
Okay. And what was the duration of the construction, and how many people did it take, and what was the challenges that you guys faced?
To provide this power connection. Normally, we have engaged our respective vendor for this job, and of course, it is a challenging area. You know, most of the cases we have identified the places where the communication is critical. Especially in this Shondip, it is an island as well. So it is always challenging to establish the infrastructure. So anyhow, we have done this, and now the local people get the benefits from these power connections.
Okay. You said we realized there's another site that you guys have.
Yes.
Just tell us a bit more about the other site.
The other side, now we are talking from the Shondip Beach 22, and next site is Shondip 2020. So on that side, we have also give power to 67 families, and there is also one mosque as well.
So what do EDOTCO want to do in the future for other places in Bangladesh like this? Is there any plans in the future and things like that?
So far, not only the power, you know, there are 3 hill tracks area in Bangladesh as well, and there the local people or the hill tracks people are facing the water crisis. So for that reason, we have made one deep tube well or some water treatment plant as well, especially in Bandarban. So far we have done this. And not only this, especially during some natural disaster, even after some flood area, we have give relief to the victim people as well as after the Mora disaster, we have given the tin to make their rooftop of their household as well. So whenever people need our help or we identified we have some scope to help them, we always step forward.
We got a nice help from tower. We are getting light. We light every evening, especially in Maghrib prayer time and Isha prayer time, and it is helpful for us in our area. Some children are reading and learning in the evening time without any problem. We do not get electricity here, so it is very help and nice for us to get all this lighting and help for us to say our prayer and other things, and our children can read in the evening without any problem, without any crisis, so that they can they are happy now to have all this. They are happy now to get all this lighting, and we are getting good help for them for the tower from the tower. So it is a nice help us. We are very happy.
Hi, welcome back. This is Notepad with me, Dishen Kumar. And today we've been talking to EDOTCO about their T2C program, Tower to Community programs, which is providing renewable energy to communities. So IR Kumari Nalini, my guest today. We talked earlier about the projects, different type of projects. Let's specifically talk about Bangladesh. Okay. So I took the trip to Bangladesh and I actually saw what you guys did, and it was such a surreal experience for me. Let's talk about the location. It's not an easy place to get to.
Yes.
Where the site is. How
Yes.
did you guys find and how did you guys actually do that project so far away from
The thing is, we don't decide the location of where these projects go to, or we don't decide the location of the site where the MNO wants to build.
Okay.
So they give us the coordinates. We look, but when we look at it closer to villages where we can serve.
Okay.
Right. So that's how, and of course, no mobile operator wants to put a site where there's nobody who wants to use the phone.
Exactly.
Right. So we are doing exactly that. Right. And then when we surveyed with the villagers and we saw what was going on, it was very natural for us to do what it is. But more and more as we talk about this tower to community projects, it is not going to hit the urban areas or suburban. It is definitely going to go into the rural and the far rural, right? So,
Okay. Now, talking about the project itself in Bangladesh, it took me a while to even get to the place. It's like you need to take a speedboat. It's very far from the city.
yeah.
How was the logistics of that project? I mean, it must have been difficult getting the people there. How did you guys get people to work on the project there and things like that?
Because population dense country like Bangladesh, a lot of labor.
Okay.
So you can do double handling, triple handling along the way, which actually bumps the project cost up. We actually managed to build within the cost that we wanted to build. And then when we saw that, we did it, so then we took it over to the next frame, which is the community.
So, Nalini, let's talk about the project in Bangladesh. So, what is the total impact? How many people's lives have you guys changed there?
We have done about 1,020 homes with on 26 locations, impacting all of these locations in terms of providing them power.
Okay.
And we also have done about 28 schools and 30 mosques.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, moving on from the project in Bangladesh, let's talk about the current situation, COVID-19, the whole impact, everything, everybody's lives has changed, your life has changed, my life has changed. What are the certain things that happen to the projects now because of COVID-19?
Restriction of going to the site has impeded us from moving fast enough on the tower to community projects. But nevertheless, the planning is all going on in the offices, and once we get over the restriction, we will start then going ahead with this tower to community projects.
Okay, so now COVID-19 has impacted this restriction movement, you can't really go there and things like that. The projects there right now, is it about maintaining the current system or the current setup that you guys have been there? Or is it about trying to increase more solar panels or trying to get more generators in and things like that?
At the present moment, we are maintaining it.
Okay.
We are maintaining it. We maintain our site, so we maintain what we give the communities as well. To increase means we need more land space.
Okay, correct.
So if it comes to us, and if there's a new development in the community and the community makes an ask to us, something that we will consider.
Now, Nalini, let's talk about how our lives have changed, COVID-19, the impact on everyone. What has EDOTCO done? Any solutions EDOTCO is working with to try to handle the situation right now?
Okay. At the height of the COVID situation in Malaysia, we provided what we call a mobile telecommunication outfit, which is called an EMOS, at the Sungai Buloh Hospital to ensure that connectivity to the hospitals were up and running while they had to deal with so many other uncertainties.
All right.
And we will continue to do this throughout this period.
Okay. So COVID-19 is not going to go away based on what everybody is saying. What are the certain solutions that EDOTCO has done or has tried to implement for moving forward for these T2C programs?
I think one of the things that we have to do is that there will be a vaccine for COVID. Eventually, we'll need to work with partners who need to get this vaccine to the rural areas. And there's one potential area that I see that will come out from this whole thing, right?
Okay. And moving on, last question for you. What is your future plans? What is EDOTCO future plans? T2C, going to different parts of Malaysia, or are you going different parts in the world?
Definitely different parts of Malaysia, different parts of all the 8 countries that we are operating in, and to enable sustainability or renewable energy day one onto our sites, so that we can continue to do this from the DNA perspective of who EDOTCO is.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, IR Kumari Nalini, for your time today.
Thank you, Dishen.
And thank you for watching. This has been Notepad with me, Dishen Kumar. I hope you guys had insight on EDOTCO and their Tower to Community program only on Notepad. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.